You want to know what I'm in question of? Jolie's ex-boyfriend again. Cause I'm nosy. I'm completely nosy. And I should be. Cause it ain't enough people across the globe that's nosy enough to want to know. I'm saying because for Jolie's story to be airing, say, in one specific area, territory, whatever, right? And I don't mean a gang or anything like that. It's a no, not everybody's seen JHOLIE Moussa's case, right? Pertaining to when she went missing, but her ex-boyfriend. But before I get into that, like, subscribe in the Discovery Channel. Yes, the Discovery Channel. The link is provided below. As well as get that Discovery Go, the app I'm saying. As well as ID Go. Yes, ID Go app. You might, in fact, want to pick that up pertaining to murder, mystery, and mayhem. Murder, mystery, and mayhem. Yes, that's brutal in itself, as in I just told. So, yeah, pertaining to her ex, because, see, for a young, yes, beautiful female such as herself to go missing, right, it's a say okay right after, once her body is, say, found, discovered, right, and is forced to be cremated, right. That's the stand in question. What was the look on the ex-boyfriend's face? What could have in fact been the precise look on the ex-boyfriend's face once he found out? If he supposedly didn't play a part in her going missing and her being found 2 weeks later after she was missing. And her loved ones and everybody else was trying to find out and see where she could have been, despite her texting at 8 p.m. that she was going to a party in Norfolk, Virginia, and yet she never made it. So yeah, where's the ex-boyfriend at? I gotta call him out. And what was that first look, such as his first reaction when he was told? I'm guessing and thinking he was told or seen or something that JHOLIE was pronounced dead. Didn't I just say that? Yeah, I would love to know what JHOLIE's ex-boyfriend feels about her being dead. I want to know. What does he feel? Dear ex-boyfriend, seeming your identity is hidden and yet mine's ain't. Just enough to question. What does he feel? What did he feel? What's the emotion there? Because, see, a first reaction such as a boyfriend or ex-boyfriend being supposedly a love of somebody's life, either way, whichever who was more in love than the other, and him being abusive and strangling the girl and him having restraining orders on him and his passport being taken and him not being allowed to leave the state. Yes, and him being told by the judge that he couldn't have access to JHOLIE. No contact. That's what in fact was requested, yes, by law, mandatory. The judge said that. And yet he had strangulation charges and all the rest by him putting his hands on JHOLIE before she died. That ex-boyfriend, I'm saying. So is any feeling there? Is there any emotion? Is there any grieving? Is there any remorse? What is there with this ex-boyfriend? That's a science in itself. It's called asking a dumb fuck. That's what that is. If you don't know, you do know now. Same. Cause that's the question. Yeah, where did the ex-boyfriend first find out, as in hear this information that JHOLIE was dead? Did he hear it on the news? Did he hear it through his friends? Did he hear it through JHOLIE's friends? Did he hear it from police themselves? This ex-boyfriend. That all needs to be questioned. Was he told? Or did he just wake up one day, turn on the TV and find out? Or did he just wake up one day, got on the internet or something and seen her in the news, such as the local news? Some people, in fact, live locally and yet don't look up their local news. I want to know how that ex-boyfriend found out about JHOLIE's case, despite him having his own case and abuse of him hitting her and all that other stuff. And forcing the father to keep tabs on JHOLIE's phone, using iPads, MacBook Pro, and all the rest, his own cell phone, to keep tabs on JHOLIE. Just so that to prevent her from dying is what I'm trying to say. This ex-boyfriend of JHOLIE. I just be asking. him being told. So how was the ex-boyfriend told, or how did he hear? Because being told, yes, and an ex-love, to be ex-boyfriend of Jolie and knowing she's died and she was missing and all that other stuff, being told your ex-love, such as Jolie, is dead is vital, because it points to whether her ex could have killed her or not. Or maybe not, I don't know. But I'm thinking it would point to something in his direction, of his feelings, his emotions, his sincerity of, oh, I'm sorry. And possibly, despite him, you never even know. Did he ever contact the parents afterwards, after Jolie died? Did he ever say anything to any of Jolie's friends, or even to Jolie's twin, about, oh, I'm so sorry that, Jolie died? Anything. Despite him supposed to stay away from Jolie after she died and before she died, as a judge stated. Was there any remorse? Could any of Jolie's friends, because see, to be friends sometimes is to be friends with everybody, such as Jolie having friends on her end, and them friends sometimes being friends with her ex-boyfriend, and them knowing who knows what and why pertaining to the way that individuals feel. Possibly Jolie's friends, or dumb fuck friends at times, knowing more than likely how ex-boyfriend felt about Jolie being dead. Or could that sort of thing be faked? Faked, as in when an ex-boyfriend say kill somebody and lay them out in some woods, and then fake to Jolie's friends that he in fact care or something. It's hard to see through on a see-through, and yet ain't no dashboard here. Only a MacBook Pro sitting next to this Mac right here, being Mac enough just to ask on that ex-boyfriend. Yeah, and possibly getting that ass when I'm asking. I don't fear him. That's not funny. I don't fear none of that. Cause I really don't find even her being dead that's not funny at all. I don't find none of that funny. They lucky we don't live in the same area. Cause me, the type of individual I am, you don't know how I think. Even family be thinking I'm crazy. Cause I'd be like, well, you need to put him to death. If he acting stupid, we live in the same environment. You just don't know about me. I'm saying, because I don't play games with people, especially when certain beautiful individuals such as that, young lady goes missing and be found dead. Gotta kill them people off. Seriously, the dumb fucks. Somebody, because I said that somebody need to kill that ex off, because to know that abuse can get that far, and strangulation is to say somebody could die, as in the windpipe becoming compressed and all that other stuff, and you're not being able to breathe, and then you just die right there, right? Which could have happened that night when Jolie died. The ex could have did that sort of thing. So you in fact want to kill him off, just to preventing him to become a serial killer doing that to other girls. Because people have all type of strategies of killing and murdering people and then walking away, such as not using a gun and using their hands, and possibly not even leaving evidence there, just enough to walk away. People do that sort of thing. That ex-boyfriend better stay where he at and watch out in the process from an individual such as me. Because I don't like individuals set loose like that. I don't. They need to be in fact dead. I said that how many times? That's another repetitious nature on my end. Working for mass media, I don't know. That ain't gonna work. I just wonder, how is he feeling internally when that ex when ain't nobody around that ex. See, I question all the right questions pertaining to who ain't gonna ask what. You ain't gonna get on the camera and talk about nothing meaningful. All the losers in life, so many of them on Twitter, Instagram, they sitting there losers. On Facebook, didn't I say that, how I got many of them on my stuff, on my social media stuff, Instagram and Facebook, right? They in fact losers. My mom get mad about that, and yet to say is to say, because to call a loser just enough is for them to pay attention to me calling them a loser, just for them to get up and do something with their life. Becoming something and using your time wisely, doing something meaningful for other people outside of yourself. I said even that before in one of my other videos. You would in fact be led to something useful for your own end if you do stuff for other people at times. And not do stuff for other loser fucks is what I'm trying to say. To do something meaningful is to know your life is going to end up becoming meaningful. It just has to. To do things for people that don't hold a voice of their own. Jolie doesn't have her own voice. Many of the people pertaining to ID, when I do things, Discovery and all that other stuff, I'm not fully speaking on her. I'm just Discovery in itself. To serve Discovery pertaining to more than just one individual story such as Jolie. Outside of all this is what I'm trying to say. That's what I should have said from the beginning, but I couldn't get up to that. The stuff that I do outside of YouTube for Discovery, that's meaningful, because you're not only making the public aware to what is going on around them, right? Helping to report useful information, news type of stuff. That's meaningful in itself, because that makes people be unaware of where killers are surrounding them in their area and all the rest. And then YouTube, that plays in with that as well. I'm saying it's just as useful, but Discovery is even more useful. But yeah, people, they don't want to take the time to do stuff like this. They don't want to take time to do nothing. They just want to sit and serve themselves, which is why they serve to failure and loserhood. They ain't gonna sit on this camera and ask, well, how does ain't nobody gonna do that, sitting on in no camera wondering, well, I wonder how Jolie's ex-boyfriend, his internal feelings. Did he really love her from the beginning? Was he lying to her from the beginning? Even when they relationship first started, was he just there to get sex out of her? What was his motivation and his position and intention for being with Jolie in the first place? Outside of possibly just leaving her for dead. Was he just using her for bodily reasons and nothing more? And then just one day figured, well, maybe let me just waste away her, getting rid of her body. I ask all the right everything. Allow me to ask all the right thing. Because see, to say that you really love a female is to say not to put your hands on her. And yet to not really love and care for her is to in fact put your hands on her. Which is why I'm asking the question. And I'm asking even in 2018, months after she has died, what does that ex feel about her, and what did he feel from the beginning about her? Because to be beaten on a female is to show you don't have no love for her. To not have no love and respect for anything owned by anything is to have no respect. Didn't I say that before? When I said my cousin was getting beat and her boyfriend was giving her two black eyes, I'm thinking to myself, who's going to want to? I'm saying it. That's not a joke. Like how I tell jokes, I say stuff about Oprah Winfrey. I say stuff about all type of people, and yet it's a joke. And yet love is there. It's not like you're just beating somebody down to get rid of their self-esteem, which is why many males and grown men beat women down to break their self-esteem down. That's why they do that sort of thing. So love could never be there. You can't love somebody by just beating them all in the face and strangling them. So that's to say love was never there from the beginning. So where is it in today? Possibly still not there. So dear ex-boyfriend, where you at? In a 9mm, as in a deck. My own. I just said that. That's a call out. It is. Straightforward. In the neck, I'm saying. From my end to his. So, regrets. Could that ex hold any regrets? Because remember, I wonder if the ex hold any type of regrets knowing Jolie will never breathe again. Will her ex ever hold any type of anything, a feeling of regret, remorse, anything, knowing that this young individual is never going to see the light of day, as in breathe? Because she already done take her last breath. She took it already. There's no coming back after that. So how does this ex feel? Somebody need to go ask Jolie's friends. I'm sure one of them know. Because see, I myself can be mean and hateful at times. I'm willing to get rid of scum of the earth. I am. And those that been paying attention to me long enough know I'm willing to get scum of the earth. Depending on what they do to me, I might just get rid of you. Trash bag you and everything else, right? That's a science in itself. It's called don't lie. Face even that, the truth. Right? But the ex, with him, he's known, it seems like he's known to be hateful like them Africans can be, because I said my mom goes back and forth to Africa. She, in fact, yes, works with children over in Africa, right? And yet some of them can be mean and hateful, some of the kids over there. That's not the stereotype and say all Africans is mean and hateful, and yet many of them can be. And I'm thinking and guessing and sensing that even that African, Jolie's ex-boyfriend, even if Jolie herself was African, because she looks half African, even the name Moussa sounds African, right? But that I still got to say the truth. Whoever feelings get hurt, even if her mom get hurt, whoever get hurt, I still got to say that. Because I myself have been in touch, and I still keep in contact, in touch with Africans, right? My mom does orphans. She helped build and do schools and all that other stuff in Africa. She take flights to go back and forth to Africa to help the orphans over there that live out in villages and all that, and they don't have shoes and clothes and all that, and sometimes not food, clean water and all that, right? And so I know about how Africans can be mean and hateful, and then you got the ones that be chilled back. But Jolie's ex-boyfriend seemed like the real mean and hateful type, the ones you run into, because Jamaicans are known to be like that as well. Jamaicans, I got them in the family too. Matter of fact, one of my cousins, in fact, has a girlfriend that's Jamaican. You got different type of people that be mean and hateful, right? Just to be mean and hateful. Her ex-boyfriend just seemed like that type that had that African mean and hateful, or let me just beat a girl because she a girl. And not only that, many Africans a lot of times hate African Americans. Not too many people know that, such as white people and other people, Asians and all that. A lot of times they don't know that how people that's from Africa or purebred African, a lot of them in fact hate African Americans. So I'm wondering if that could have been the process as well. See, an ex-boyfriend just getting with Jolie to have sex and acting like he loved her, sweet talking to her, and then abusing her, and then somewhat luring her out on different days. I'm thinking that the lure and the catch was being done all the while. For months on end, or however long she was with him, he more than likely didn't really love her. She just possibly thought that, and that's why she was all giddy around him, because he possibly was being all sweet and all this, telling her I love you, and didn't, because remember, he was beating on her. But yes, Africans a lot of times in fact hate African Americans, and I'm thinking this is one of them situations as well. How a guy be all smiling up in your face, make you feel all special, but it's in fact a lie, and he's an African, and yet he hate African Americans and more than anything African American women. I'm thinking that's the case, or scenario, or situation. Jolie's ex-boyfriend, how he can possibly feel about how the ex-boyfriend can feel about African Americans and his hatred for them, and yet he's not saying it. And yet he more than likely has friends or homies he hang around with, and possibly even hate them as well. To hate something is to say. I'm saying there's African Americans that surround me at times I in fact hate, and yet I tell them. I don't just put on a fake face of saying, you know what, I love you, let me just let you be the love of my life. Hell no, I hate you at times, because some of y'all niggas be trying to break up into my house and all this other stupid stuff I ain't gonna ever be bothered with, which is why I moved away. People don't like to hear you talk like that until it happens to them. They don't like you to say anything until stuff happened to them. And then they want to start talking like you talk and all this other stuff, right? But yeah, Africans, they have you can go to anywhere in New York and see how many Africans in fact treat African Americans. They in fact look down on African Americans. Africans, I'm saying. That's not to say the Moussa family. I'm not speaking about them. They're over there. I'm speaking about this ex-boyfriend and his fake feelings. Because when I question about if his parents were immigrants or illegal immigrants, what are they, his parents, right? Because for him to have a passport is to say, why was he going back and forth from America to possibly over in Africa? It's to ask even why he's here in the first place if you don't like African Americans. Trust and believe, I'm sure that ex-boyfriend of Jolie don't like all African Americans. He just ain't saying it. He being a nigga like the rest of them. Fake fuck at that, loser. smiling in their face, acting like he loved all them, and possibly acting like he loved Jolie, but hated her, because if he didn't, he wouldn't have put his hands on her. To hate something is in fact victimize it. That's what I'm trying to say. To hate something is in fact victimize it, and that would in fact be an African ex-boyfriend victimizing a African American girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, beating her and all that other stuff. Because to love something is to take care of it fully and be gentle with it and soft with it and caring, and not be lying trying to lure Jolie out on random days outside of her being murdered, but on every other day acting just to be acting. That's what he's done did, is acted. That's scum of the earth. Call it out as you see. I just did. That's in fact what that ex is. He know he is. More likely self-hatred is there with that ex. Jolie's ex-boyfriend. He more likely is a highly self-hating individual. I can sense and guess that. Because to put your hands on somebody else like that is to say, why couldn't you put your hands on yourself? He in fact need to be dead. So why didn't he just take a gun and blow his own brains out instead of killing her? Why couldn't just leave her alive? I'm saying whether he did it or he not, I still sense he did. So I'm calling that out. I'm not gonna go undercover with that. I can't sit going undercover with everything. That ain't gonna work. People will get away with all type of things, and then this and this and that, which is why I'm allowing my videos to be all over YouTube, and me saying pertaining to any type of missing person, being vocal and saying stuff, because that needs to be said, what I think and I feel pertaining to who could have did what and why. That's not gonna, it ain't gonna ever work to be on no missing children thing and then not saying, well, I'm not gonna say because I'm not, how prissy chicks be doing. I'm not gonna say because I don't want to make them look bad, and not only that, I might in fact throw my viewers away because they might in fact walk away from me thinking I'm being judgmental. Well, you're sorry and sad as well. I call things how I see them. If I think somebody is guilty in that, I'm in fact gonna call that, because that's a little bit too young, don't you think, to be dying at some 16, knowing that you are in fact about to get your driver's license. Jolie was in fact excited about that. The fact that she was now about to start driving, getting her driver's license. That was a congratulations to her, and yet she never got a chance to make it there. I don't like stuff like that. Petty fucks need to die off. And I'm real, and even that. I keep it all the way real. Shouts out to a player myself at that. That's why people can't be around me for long. Trust and believe, they can't be around me for long, because I start saying stuff that make even them mad. And they say, oh, you're mean and evil. No, I'm telling the truth. That is not going to work. So I think that's all to be said about that ex-boyfriend. You can watch anything Tyler Perry and seeing all type of lovers killing people. That's real life. Tyler Perry shows and all that other stuff. It's so interesting. Losers in fact exist in this world. If people don't make a come up, and even that isn't listen to me saying that, the loser effect is in fact real. The Oprah effect is real. Yes, Oprah effect is in fact real. But the loser effect is just as real. Pertaining to, you do have losers out here, they in fact want to sit and watch Tyler Perry. Go ahead and do that. You in fact pay everybody with Discovery, right? But they don't want to face no missing children stories such as a JHOLIE MOUSSA and all the rest. I don't like stuff like that. It's bothersome. Yes, tune in to Tyler Perry, because that's to make a come up for everybody on Discovery, right? But pertaining as in a payout, but pertaining to you're not facing real life is to say, why would you sit and watch shows all day about people getting killed, such as lovers getting killed, but then don't want to sit and listen to somebody talk about a JHOLIE MOUSSA? That shows a loser, a dumb fuck. Which is why they ain't nowhere sitting near me, because them type of people, I said before, I get rid of them. I don't surround myself with losers. I'm uninterested. Because to be a failure in life is to make all the excuses of why you can't come up. That's real in itself. Life is about taking charge of your life. And not blaming all other people, and more than anything, sitting blaming some other race of people why you can't make a come up. Well, if you stop watching celebrity stuff all day unless you're getting paid. I'm saying, yes, watch Oprah Winfrey. My thing is, watch celebrities if they're there to teach you something. Not all celebrities is there to teach you anything. They're in fact dumbing you down. That's why they're there. I gotta say that in fact that's gonna be a loss of money of individuals, and yet it should be. Because if the TV screen is turned all the way out, as in it goes all the way black, based off of something like me saying something pertaining to why many celebrities is there, is to in fact make you dumb and make you not cooperate in the learning process. Oprah Winfrey is not one of those individuals. Tyler Perry ain't either. There's a lesson to be learned in that, as in to watch your back, because backstabbers are real, pertaining to murder and lovers. JHOLIE fits in with that as well. JHOLIE Moussا fits in with that situation as well, pertaining to a Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry, when a lover is in your face acting like they loving you and then they killing you after. That's a backstabber. Those people you want to watch out for. So, in me saying that, you once again would in fact want to watch people that can serve you something hearty, that you can eat from, a full meal, that you're able to learn something. Dr. Oz must be subscribed to on my other account, as well as Tyler Perry Studios. Didn't I say that already, how I got multiple accounts on my YouTube? I in fact do. So some of the stuff that's not subscribed on here is in fact subscribed on my other outside account. You can in fact, did you know that? You can in fact live stream to 2 accounts at once. Not many individuals know that. You can in fact live stream. Yes, live stream videos. Sitting there talking, yes, on a mic and camera. And live stream it to both of your channels at one time. Not many people know that. You need to be sitting watching somebody like this individual right here. That's a fact all itself. She's going to teach you how to say her name properly, so all the losers won't fuck it up. This is a chill back. The backstabbing, all the backstabbing. See, I have this thing where I don't trust anybody. I don't trust nobody. Hell, sometimes I don't even trust my own family members, because there's been times where I helped them out and they turn their back on me. For their girlfriends and their boyfriends. Who does that? Okay, so when your boyfriend and girlfriend leave you, what happens then? That ain't gonna work. Turning your back on me for your husband and your wife and your boyfriend and girlfriend. And then when they cheat on you or whatever else and leave you for dead, then you want to come run to me so I can hear all about it. I've endured that type of stuff even with blood family. Which is why I just leave them to be stuck with whatever. I talk, say hi and bye when I do. But I don't have time for even that situation. Because to keep a family intact is for me to just keep my distance and allow them to keep their distance and all that. That's what I do. Because if not, then it's going to be some backstabbing situation with that. And possibly a headache and even more. Look at my wife on the screen. She fine as hell. I'm saying. This is one beautiful woman. And I pointed out that too, didn't I? About the best friend that I had and have. There's distance between she and I right now. She looks just like her. I stated that. Been knowing her since like 1995, 96. We've been knowing each other for that long, and she's much more older than me. I'm gonna let her hear this video with me speaking on it, about our relationship and how we don't get along. Because some years back, I felt like she backstabbed me. I did, pertaining to my sexuality and what I told her in secret, and I told her not to tell my mom, and she went back and told. That almost completely butchered a relationship. Yes, it did. Not only between me and that friend, but between me and my mom. I felt like that was some backstabbing effect. I in fact have trust issues. I don't never know who to trust. I just don't. I just feel like I can't trust nobody but myself. Because see, ain't nobody responsible for me but me. Which could be why that's there. Because see, to lean in too much on other people is to say, what are they going to do with your life? They might not do your life the way that you know how to do your life. Run and operate your life. With your secrets, they may not even know what to do with that sort of thing. People have been known to out people and try to ruin people and all this other stuff. Which is why I don't really trust nobody. I keep to myself a lot. They got a lot of people in Hollywood that they keep to themselves as well. I'm saying there's things in which people don't tell. They in fact work in Hollywood and they're well-known celebrities and you see them all over the TV screen and yet they don't have many friends. I'm saying not many friends is there pertaining to many of these celebrities in Hollywood that work. You see them surrounding other celebrities because remember, to be a human being selling a product is to say you're selling yourself working in Hollywood, right? You can be as big as Oprah. You can be as big as her on the screen, right? You can be big as anybody, Tyler Perry, right? And yet to be a human being selling a product is to say you are in fact selling yourself, but you're not selling your soul to the devil. No, you're selling yourself because you represent your product. That's why you're there to sell yourself, right? But you're going to in fact team up with other celebrities. So you're going to be seen with those other celebrities. And what you're being seen is in fact, it makes it look like you and all those other celebrities are in fact friends because you're in close ties with them. And yet that's not always true. You just doing business stuff with them, right? But you're not friends all like that. You might in fact say, well, such and such my friend, because remember, you're selling products, right? I'm saying what people try to say, well, you know, this such and such celebrity, like Lynn Whitfield, or Why did I say Wynn? Lynn Whitfield. I said her name in reverse. Did you catch that? I butchered her up. I completely butchered because I said it in reverse. Lynn Whitfield, right? Okay, so with her, she might in fact be on social media or have been in interviews in TVs and all that other stuff. You might see her doing whatever, right? And it's in fact corporate because it's Hollywood, whatever, right? And so she's around a different group of sets of celebrities. That in fact don't mean that she's friends or anything. Some of them people she could have met for the very first time. That don't mean that she's best friends with them. They're once again selling a product, right? You got to understand where I'm going with this. Because people be thinking, well, that celebrity is really close friends with that celebrity. And this celebrity is with this celebrity. You know what I'm saying? When you see them on TV, even when you see them on BET and MTV or whatnot, right? That's not all. Because a lot of celebrities have, in fact, never even have met each other. Film stars, music stars, right? They meet each other for the first time, take a picture, whatever, right? And so, in me saying that, the reason why they don't have a lot of friends, despite them being a celebrity, is because there's a fear of backstabbing. You don't know. Just because one celebrity seem like they're cool to everybody, that don't mean that other celebrity trusts them. That celebrity could be at the highest top because they have been known to backstab everybody around them to get where they are, right? And so, yeah, that sort of thing, in fact, has to be stated. Because industry is all a game. It's all a game, and it's all a backstabbing game. Even in people's personal lives, or where they will, in fact, backstab you and all the rest to get to where they got to go. Which is why, once again, many celebrities keep their friendship on a minimum. When people was asking, Will, you know, when they asked, well, Oprah endorsed Obama and all this and this and that. Who's to say that they're best friends? Who's to say that not just her with him, but anybody with anybody else? Who's to say that? Because this is a business. You endorse other people. You stand taking pictures, do photo ops and all this other stuff with other people because you're once again selling something. You're selling yourself. But that don't mean that people are in fact best friends and all the rest with that. No. Because backstabbers will be any kind of celebrity doing that sort of thing. Backstabbing you after you done did whatever with them. It helps to keep your circle small, is what I'm trying to say. Very small. And tighten it on top of that. Keep your circle small and tighten it on top of that. Not just be allowing other people to just randomly make their way up to you to just become friends, and more so when they're in the industry and all that. You do in fact have to network and socialize and all that, but that's to say you can't be calling everybody your best friend or all this other stuff while you're working in industry. People can get killed in that because you don't know where the jealousy stands. I'm saying. Could be lovers or anything else. This is all a learning process of what I'm saying. These people, they don't pay attention. You don't want to work in any type of anywhere doing anything industry. I'm saying just doing that and then say walking around just calling random people your friend. That will get you backstabbed very quickly, let me tell you. That's a science underneath itself. It's called keeping yourself safe. What people will do, because people, man, let me tell you, people is known to kill people for opportunities and all that other stuff. If they think they got something, if they think that you got something they want, they'll backstab you and possibly kill you. You don't even know, or do something to leave you for dead. Which is why a person like myself, I don't be bothered. I'll leave stuff alone pertaining to who I let try to be, because I be questioning that. People be questioning me all the time. Well, why don't you have a lot of friends? Well, why don't you want to socialize? Because I would rather focus on what I'm supposed to be doing more so than networking. Remember, I'm responsible for me. I'm responsible for me just enough to get my own opportunities. Meaning if I need something or I want something, I go to. There's no point of me going through somebody else to try to do that sort of thing. That's not going to work. Because at any time, they might in fact backstab me. I don't trust nobody. I never have. Possibly out the womb. My mom have issues with me about that. You don't trust nobody because I'm just waiting on the backstabbing. I know it's there and I know it's coming. It always does, right? And so that ain't gonna work. I don't really like. I'm like that oddball in the family, which could be why I'm completely Hollywood. When I said that, my mom was in fact supposed to name me at birth Hollywood. HALLEWOOD. That's what she said she was gonna name her. If she had a daughter, that's what she was gonna name her. Right? And so I'm completely Hollywood in spirit and soul, right? And so Emmy saying that, that's what makes me an oddball more so than everybody in our family. I'm like one of the most weirdest people in our family. Because see, look, to have family members and I don't really go around and socialize with them because I don't know who's going to get mad as soon as I open up my mouth and say what needs to be fixed about even their life where they need to get it together. Certain individuals, when they get with these boyfriends and then they want to come calling telling me on the phone and yet they don't want to fix it right. It's to say family ain't going to see me all like that. They just can't, right? And then when they look and they say, well, you don't have no friends around you. You don't like to do this. You don't like to do that. You don't want to socialize. You don't want to network too much. And then you got business people in the business community. You don't want to really network with us and hang out. No, I just want to focus on what I do. Because that ain't going to work. Because I don't want to sit arguing about nothing, no petty feud in that. Because trust and believe I'm going to call you out in that. And more likely right here on video, because that's what I do. That's just me, right? Because I know you're going to see it. So to do it precise is to just do, right? And so, yeah, I keep my distance from everybody. People, in fact, in the family, they be getting their feelings hurt about that. Me keeping my distance. Well, you don't come around and you don't this and that. Well, I was turned against when I was looking out for many of y'all. I was completely turned against. That, in fact, turned me off, as in turned me away. And it should have. I told my grandmother. My grandmother be knowing a lot of stuff because I talk real, yes, I do. I talk real open and free with my grandma about what family members done turned against me because I done tried to help them, as in lend a willing ear just enough to listen and do what I can to help, and then I'm turned against. What family member going to want to be bothered with that after that has happened? Only a foolish character would want to be all a part of that, and I'm just not one of those. I just let that go. So yeah, at times I don't even trust family, because that's not gonna work. You got people in the family, they done went off and served whatever in military, and they wife or whatever was cheating on them, and I knew about whatever, right? And then they wife end up pregnant by somebody else, and then all of a sudden I gotta hear whatever, and then I'm told to my face to go check the wife, and then when I do, that individual male turned against me, cousin, family member. Why would you want to do that? You the one that told me. And not only that, you was terrified you was gonna get killed in war, because that's where my cousin served. So to not have trust issues is to say why I don't. I dealt with all type of stuff from people. I don't be trusting people. When they say, I would love to be your friend. Well, would you? Because I'm just waiting on the backstabbing. I know it's coming. I in fact know it is coming, because that's usually what it gets to. That's what it leads to. Not saying I'm a hopeless individual, no, because I'm always happy. As long as I'm able to do what I'm supposed to, such as serve other people, or even they need help pertaining to a business corporation and all the rest, and even Oprah, whatever platform type of stuff, is to say I'm happy in that. And yet when I get to being surrounded around people that want to be all friend and this, let me befriend you and this and this and that, and then something else leads with that, well, the backstabbing, there you go. I knew it was coming. will.i.am, that's my dude. I'm going through all the listing pertaining to Oprah Winfrey's own network, which is right here, yes, on the YouTube platform. She, in fact, teams of people have to, in fact, upload all this massive amount of data. The zero and O's, once you put something through, feed it through to a system, right? It's to say everything, including the old Oprah Winfrey TV shows, are on here as well. Everything is here. Whatever you're looking for pertaining to Oprah Winfrey is here. There's the old magazine. You need to subscribe to that as well. Oops. It's the old magazine. You need to... Oops. Why did I shine that other way? You see that? I always circle at the bottom in case when people subscribe and then they don't know how to say unsubscribe or whatever the issue be, right? It's to call that out as well, because some people they don't pay attention to fine print. You should always, when you read stuff, you should always pay attention to the fine print on whatever it is you're reading. That's learning as well. That's vital. That's to say you're not gonna put your name on some dotted line and you don't know what it all consists of. Some people don't even know that when they want to be in industry. When they want to be in the entertainment industry and they sign their life and all their rights away, and they become a slave up underneath that, and yet I don't mean a slave ship as in a boat set on top, right? Possibly a love seat. Some people, try to get in industry and they don't pay attention to stuff such as the fine print, and then they end up stuck in a hiccup for life with that. It always helps to pay attention to what is there. As in everything, when you see something printed on a documentation, is to say pay attention to that. Don't let your eyes bypass that to just go ahead and sign something on a dotted line. Fine print is very vital. I had to tell my mom pertaining to our cell phones being Verizon. Yes, Verizon, right? We being Verizon's consumers, because see, Verizon, they be having these packages, you can get everything and it's only a set price of this, and that is not completely precise. You in fact want to read the fine print up underneath that. I in fact read the fine print on everything, let me tell you. If it was a recording contract, I would do that as well, because you can be signing away your life to anything as you signing that. So they told my mom pertaining to her cell phone that they was going to be giving her everything, such as all gigabytes. And I said, no, that's not right. That's completely not right. Because see, to pay for a package and say them only charging you, say maybe $80 something or something like that, whatever they charge her. I'm just giving a a random figure, right? That's not really the precise, but it's close enough. But to say that they're going to charge you $85 for all everything such as gigabyte is to know that's not right. There ain't no phone company gonna, well, maybe I'm speaking on Verizon. Maybe outside they would, such as Metro MPC. What is that? Metro PCS? Is that Metro PCS? I think I got that right. I know some people that got that. But it might be Metro PCS that might charge you $60, $70, $80 for everything, all gigabyte work. Because see, gigabyte sits up underneath that. The data plan. That's what I'm speaking on. You just don't go into a phone center and say, I want everything on the phone. Give me everything, and then don't think that there's no data plan once you go over that. Because it was a guy that actually had a Sprint phone, and his bill was $85,000. Didn't I mention that? Was that at the beginning of this video, or was that in my last video when I spoke about $85,000 in Sprint? The guy ended up eating up all his data, and he got a bill for $85,000. That was back like in 2008, 2009, the year I'm speaking on. Yes, he ate up his data. He didn't know what he was doing, right? And not only that, Sprint didn't tell him everything, which is why I got rid of Sprint. Because they will deceive you as well. They do. For marketing and advertising purposes, right? And so, pertaining to that, when my mom was saying, well, I asked them for everything, I said, that don't mean that's the data plan. To ask them that you want everything, such as all data being big data, where you can have full access, unlimited access with data, is to say you're going to be paying over $200 or something. That's in fact a precise figure, as in it's all the way close, all the way there. Because even I know ain't no phone company going to be no Verizon letting you pay $85 for no data, unlimited at that. No, they're going to want to they're going to want to milk you for everything pertaining to the dollar sign. These corporations. And so I had to explain, and my mom was pissed at me at that because she was in fact wrong, thinking that she got something right. I said, no, that's wrong. That ain't even nowhere near. They should have you ain't got unlimited. You got possibly 5 or 6 gigs, which she did say that's what she has, is I think gigabyte, 6 gigs or something like that. That's about right for like $85 or something. All that other stuff is off. I know how the marketing and advertising, I know how it's done, as in the way pertaining to phone companies, mass media, and all the rest. Even how CNN and Fox News, how they do their marketing and all that other stuff, I know that as well. And using Trump and all this other stuff, I know, in which I don't even speak on. Because to know what is to not say, right? Let people figure it out. It's not my position to speak for either major corporations such as a CNN or Fox News. That will mess up my opportunities in me saying stuff, so which is why I don't say. And so it's to know how major corporations do things, as in wanting to eat up your dollar signs, your hard-earned money. I mean, in which they should. I'm saying that's why they're there to begin with. Ooh, you know what? I should go to rallies. I think I'm going to go to rallies after I get... That will be my snack for the day. Going to rallies. But yeah, it's a lot of things I know that I don't never speak on camera. Because see, I can't stand representing anybody. That's not my position. It's only my position to stand representing myself, which is what I do, as well as dead children. Dead children and dead missing persons and all the rest pertaining to when I'm over there with Discovery, Investigation Discovery. Yes. And serving, yes, Oprah Winfrey as well. I do a lot of stuff. I do a lot. I'm saying a lot of thinking. The stuff that I do is not physical. It's thinking. Which is why I, in fact, get on my mama nerve with I, in fact, drive my mom nuts and batshit crazy because I think a lot, right? And so to put the thinking processes to work is to, in fact, do that. When I have ideals, ideals be coming to me so quick. I should be working for NASA or Apple, one of the two, right? Because the ideals are, well, this could be done like this could be done like that. Oprah Winfrey stuff. I can't even speak about that, but yeah, there's things with that pertaining to commercials and all that other stuff. It's a lot of stuff that I do. It takes a lot of thinking. And so I try to be mentally sharp which is why I think a lot. And not only that, that's why a lot of times I don't have people around me as well. A lot of different random people. When I deal with people, I might deal with one person here, and then I'm done talking, and I deal with another person here, and I'm done talking, and I deal with another. I don't have swamps of people around me like that, because that takes me away from my thinking processes. Because remember, all this type of stuff like this, it consists of thinking processes to begin with. To do business is to process your thinking thoughts, right? Does that make sense? Process your thinking thoughts, as in put those thinking thoughts to work, as in do the work and give it to somebody else so that they can put it on the platform, whatever else, right? Mass media and serving and all that. And yet to have too many people around you, that's why some people can't make it in industry as well. They got where they can make the connections just to have enough friends, and yet they don't keep their concentration there on what they're working on. Why people is not working in a mass media corporation or working for other CNN or Fox News, because yes, you're supposed to mentally be all over the place with information, but you're not supposed to be mentally all over the place with having swamps of people in your environment. That's not going to work. Because see, for every person that you got in your environment, they're not going to agree with everything you do, which is going to set you off and apart away from what you got started doing. You see where I'm going with this? If you can't have the concentration level to stay and set foot on whatever you started enough to complete it, because you got so many swarms of friends around you, or thinking you need to socialize constantly, and yet you ain't paying attention to your work, is to say you don't need to be working in no mass media for no Fox News, no CNN, no Discovery, none of that. I said this last year on Twitter. I'm repeating again. I should. People got to let the focus be the focus. That's all I'm trying to say. People, in fact, need to let the focus be the focus, as in the concentration. What are you there for? What are you doing? Why do you want 50 million friends surrounding you? Why are they there? What do they have? What do they want? Are they going to backstab you? Can you read through them? I process all that when I'm dealing with people. I just don't want people sitting around me just because they're sitting around me. I'm saying some people, in fact, is older. They said usually the older you become, the less friends that you have. That's a fact statement. Because everybody else might, in fact, be users sitting around you. I'm saying some people, in fact, because see, look, my mom, she has people that, didn't I say this before? She has friends that she grew up and went to kindergarten with, right? So she's comfortable being around those type of people that she grew up and went to school with. And yet not everybody does that same thing. They just randomly pick up friends as they go, right? And they got 50 million people there that they don't even, if you ask them the question why their friends are there, they can't even tell you the reason. They'll say, well, I'm just friends with them because I'm just friends. We're just friends because we're friends. That's not enough. There should be an agreement on even that, as in y'all both looking each other in the eye and saying face to face why you're friends. Because if any break out, not a fight or anything like that, but if something break out where there's a miscommunication, you can't even go back and say why y'all friends to begin with. As in that could be the lead up to the fight. To not know why you're friends with somebody is to not know why you're going to be arguing and fighting. There's going to be a fighting match, and even that. Why am I with this person? With JHOLIE, she should have been asking that while she was alive with that guy. Why am I in a relationship with him? Because to not ask that enough, to not be asking yourself enough, the friends that you keep around you or associations or networking with people, to not ask enough why I got them around me, is to know that there's going to be a problem sooner or later, such as a miscommunication issue which needs to be settled. And the issue could be, in a sense, come from you're not knowing why you're there, as in the reason, the purpose, and the intention. To get lost in that is to even say. Call yourself out sometimes more than calling out other people. When people be fighting and fights and all that other stuff break out. Yes, to have a social circle is to not have too many people flood your circle, right? But sometimes people get in fights and they don't know why they're fighting because they don't know why they're friends. Why are you that person's friend? What value does that person give to your world and your life? Why are they there? For that person to not, because it's a give and take with everything. For that person not to give you something in your life, in your world, and you not give that other person on the receiving end, and to know y'all no longer need to be there as in each other's world, because you're not serving one another in anything, which is to say it's going to always be some miscommunication, some fighting, bickering back and forth, something. But to add value to people's life and their world is in fact stay, as in stick around or something like that. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's why, yeah, people, they get mad, because I'll be like, well, I can't really be friends with you, because first off, I need to know why we're going to be friends in the first place. Like, why am I here wanting to be your friend, and why are you here wanting to be my friend? Because if we get in an argument, the true intention is going to come out, as in people are going to say, and they have towards me, as in why they didn't like me and why this and this and that. And also on top of that, the intention of why they were there. They were just there to use me and whatever, right? And so that's why it's just good to upfront say, well, I'm trying to be cool with you because I think that you're a cool person. But not only that, we both hold common interests. We each hold common interests, which means we're like-minded in the same area and same lane, just enough to learn from one another. Because, see, I don't know everything, just like that other individual might not know everything. So we're just here to teach one another something. Say something to me like that or something. That way, when we fall out and say the season is over of us being together or something, even in a love relationship, that's to say when we walk away, we're in fact both at fault, and not just the other person being at fault, just one individual being at fault. We in fact can take and measure up to that, taking responsibility for your life, that we're both at fault and not just one. Because it'll point back to why we got started to begin with, because we both said we're here to learn from each other. And yet some people are put into your life and you don't know it, for them to even teach you something. And you not even knowing it, the realization of even that aspect, right? And sometimes it in fact comes out later. That sort of thing sometimes will show itself later, even once somebody has died off or whatever else done happened, right? Because our relationships show us who we are anyway. That's the point. It's a mirror. It's to reflect back who you are and why. Yourself, I'm saying. So even with my family, I was at fault just as much as they was at fault for them telling me, well, I need you to check her because she's cheating on me despite her being my wife. I was at fault for even going there. Yes, I was, right? I take responsibility for even that, because I had to look at even him being my cousin. You were sorry to begin with to get with a sorry individual. So maybe you should stop being so sorry, and you would in fact stop drawing sorry people to you. But you're still going to draw sorry people either way, whether you're doing good or bad. That's just life. You draw all type of people, whether you want them to or not. Some people think that just because you can be good in life and do all good, that you're only going to draw good people. But remember, sometimes the most sorriest ass losers are in fact sometimes the ones that's drawn to you, and not the other way around. People don't be knowing that. When they be like, I do all this and I do all that, and people still try to take advantage of me despite me doing good, that's because losers are in fact going to be drawn to that. They're going to be drawn to you trying to hurt you, is what I'm trying to say. And even that. So all you can basically do is just do what you're supposed to do. But yeah, with me, I got real deep trust issues, and not only that, anger issues to go with it. That's like two socks that match and yet they don't. That's funny. I got anger issues as well as deep trust issues. That's like two socks that don't match. I just repeated that. It had to be stated. It had to be had. I don't ever know who to trust and when and why. And the purpose. Because for me to want to trust them is to ask myself, why am I trusting them more than I'm supposed to be trusting myself? So I just leave it alone. I try not to think too much, but I do be thinking. Why are you going to trust them more than you trust yourself? And then when you go off in a situation and become a loser, stuck in loserhood myself, they can't get me out of it because they ain't nowhere in reach. They ain't going to try to reach out a hand and even help me out of it. So I might as well just trust myself and even that and call it a day. and go on and do what I'm supposed to be doing, because that ain't gonna work. She get all the way in deep. That's that type of individual, in fact, want to have hold you. I'm saying, what's another type of individual you would, in fact, want to hold you? This type of individual right here. That's that type 2. I don't mean type 2 diabetes, hell no. I'm saying it's that type of individual you, in fact, want to hold you as well. I'm saying how they both speak. It's a type, is what I'm trying to say. Personality type is what I'm trying to say. Somebody can say, what do you mean type? I mean the personality type. Some people don't believe in that, the Myers-Briggs. It is, in fact, yes, factual, as in what it could be used for. Knowing and understanding your personality type. I am, in fact, a INTJ. That's my personality type, and it's very precise on top of that. It is. I had to rewind this back for a second. I'm an INTJ. That's what I do. INTJ basically is a system builder, meaning I love to build things, solve, and equate stuff. More than anything, I love to connect the dots. That's all an INTJ is. It's the love and infatuation for connecting the dots. That's it. You get a car, but you don't get the key. Didn't I say that on Twitter last year? I said, you get a car, but you don't get the key or the front seats. That is so funny. YouTube. Yeah, she dropped that. You get a car. I'm blogging in a sense. Do you know what a blog is? Vlogging is when you... Vlogging, I said blogging with a B. Like in written form. Because to be a writer and a researcher, right here on YouTube, is to say I am in fact blogging. But not vlogging. Not taking a camera and going out everywhere. I can do that too. With Final Cut Pro, doing the editing down, I do all that type of stuff, right? I just haven't done it right here on YouTube with that. And more likely possibly ain't. And yet who knows, that more likely might come later. And yet I love specifics such as the niche. Having a niche, missing people, missing person, missing children, all that. That type of stuff. Some of the other stuff, in fact, get in my way. I like to just focus on the drive. Did I just play that? So, blogging. That's what these videos are in fact are. Maybe I should start saying that in the beginning of the video, how these are blogs. Because that will help to help people understand, make sense of what I'm doing. Because see, to talk about yourself personally, to talk about myself personally, as well as intertwine stories in this, is to say I am in fact blogging. And yet I'm not doing it one way. I'm not going in one direction, because see, that's boring to me. That's boring and it's dry. I don't like stuff like that. I don't like to hear a missing. I want to feel something real. I'm trying to get real. When I was explaining to somebody the other day, because see, we live in virtual, which is why when I look like I'm sitting in a box, that's good, because it points in with that, as well as in kidnap and all that other stuff. I look like I'm in a box, right? But I could have actually virtual make my theme pertaining to my layout right here with the video. I could have made that more virtual, as in place a green screen behind me. A green screen. That's Hollywood as well, placing a green screen behind you so that you blend in, and yet there's no box there. It's no box. It would just be my face and my body, the outline, right? But I don't want to do that, because that's too virtual, right? So also to tell bits and pieces of me and add it in, throw it in with the story of the missing child, as in make an example of myself, that's to take away from that virtual side somewhat. Sometimes you can be too virtual. The virtual reality aspect. I want something a little bit real, authentic. I'm saying because nobody else in the world of discovery is doing this. Is what I'm trying to say, all like that. They're on other business community websites posting and all that other stuff when they blog, and yet they're not doing it in this format of the video. I like to do stuff, be the first to do the first, right? And possibly be the worst with my mouth. But yeah, it just that's not gonna. So I'm supposed to sit there and listen to somebody tell a story of a missing child, and yet they don't add no pieces in towards about themselves. That ain't gonna work. That mean I'm not gonna watch it, and possibly haven't missing children, missing person videos on YouTube and all like that, because I want to know what that person is about, as in what they represent, what do they do, how do they feel, how do they come out, are they a soft-spoken person, what type of identity is that individual behind that camera. I want to see that. It's almost like a behind the scenes. How you get a DVD and it be like behind the scenes, as in you can see who works for who, and yet you see the real them, as in how they interact and can cuss out people. I like that type of thing. I like that type of approach because it's real, more authentic. It feels like something I can almost touch or whatnot, right? I like that type of approach. Cause that just moving straight forward, just telling a child's story, that's not gonna work for my eyes. That ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna never work. Not putting yourself into the story just to say, well, you know, my dad in fact died in jail. My dad, when I said that in one of my other videos, that in fact I needed that to be there. Because see, what that does is that points you, the viewer, in the direction of not only JHOLIE, she was killed, right? She was in fact murdered, whatever, right? Suspect, whatever happened with that, right? Not only that, it shows who I am, the individual. I just said that, right? To make a remark is to restate it. It shows who I am, the real life individual, as in my family on our end have thoughts of who we could even be. My dad dying in jail, me showing that, right? People like to keep that side. They like to keep that type of thing hidden in the corporate world of their past, of where they came from. Some people like to forget where they came from, and yet I don't. To drop the bomb is to say my dad dropped dead in jail, for all eyes to see, right there, right? And then it was on the news later. That's to drop the bomb and say. And so it points on the faults of my end, family stuff, right? Situation. But it also points towards investigation discovery, where all ties in, where you read in stories pertaining to criminal activity which has happened and occurred. That all aligns together, connecting the dots with that. So yeah, I don't ever want to hide my dad's story, because that's a part of me. It is. It's completely a part of me. And so, yeah, I said that too already. Has to be said all over again. I think that's all to be stated. Because I'm thinking to myself, if I watch a story, how many times have I repeated this? If I sit and I listen to somebody doing a missing, not discovery, I'm talking about outside on YouTube and all that other stuff, and Vimeo or whatever, however you pronounce it, or Twitch, and they're making missing children, it's like almost that person is unidentified. Sometimes the people that make these missing children stories, it's like they're almost identified, because they don't tell no personal stories of their own. That's almost lifeless and unreal in itself. It's almost like as if you have something to hide or something. Right? The girls that put on the hair and makeup, I state what I state about them. Some people might feel that I'm a hater, and yet even they can do much more, as in not needing to always be all pretty and prissy and cute and all that, as in they need to be telling their real life as well, as on the video of the children that they're speaking about. Be more real and stop being as fake, a fake ass, as in fall off in that, possibly fall dead as well, right? That's a curse, as in what I just said, you wouldn't want to repeat what I just said. I in fact actually told somebody, because somebody came and told me that this individual was into raping people. This was a few years back. Somebody told me that this male figure was into raping people and that he had me next on his list, right? And so I went and I told this individual fall dead. Do you know he ended up later falling dead? After I actually moved, because I myself was in fact living in Virginia for a few months. Yes, to be specific. And I told this individual fall dead, and he in fact fell dead after I left Virginia and came back. Yes, that is off the hook. I don't play with my words. I just speak straightforward. But yeah, with the girls with the hair and makeup, any of them. I mean, why would you? I mean, because I know a person ain't gonna want to hear that. But see, my videos are in fact blogs. I know ain't nobody gonna sit and want to hear about me, but they don't have a choice. Either get the fuck off my stuff or don't come here at all. You don't have a choice if you don't want to hear about me, because I'm a human here, sitting here. And not only that, I got my own story to tell, as well as many missing persons' story to tell. There's a connection in that. It says I'm breathing, and they were once breathing. So we're connecting that. The whole universe is connected through God, universe, or whatever. But that ain't gonna work. I'm saying it's working for them, showing off hair and makeup, but you could put some more of yourself into the story of who you're telling. And if your followers don't like it, then they must in fact be fake as well. Because many of these celebrities are in fact fake. I'm saying, not Oprah Winfrey. You do in fact have celebrities that be talking about their fans. Oh, I can't stand him or her. I can't stand him or her. And then they go behind the scenes with all that talking, but they don't say it openly. Why not? Because they're afraid they're going to lose their millions of followers. But Oprah, yeah, not her. I'm talking about singers and dancers. They in fact do that. They in fact do that. Be bashing they fans and all that. You should have told them how you felt about them. Because to get rid of them is to bring some real life people to you. It's to draw them to you by what you're saying, right? But yeah. This video, I can't even get to all the videos I'm trying to get to. The old Oprah shows. See, I was scrolling and scrolling for days. You got to go all the way back. This still ain't it. Madonna's sister, this still ain't it. I was making jokes about even her on Twitter. But yeah. That's off the hook, cuz to blog something is to do it right. I don't like stuff like that. Because that makes you, because look, even if somebody was to become a celebrity off of this type of stuff, as in you're working for a mass media marketing and say people start tuning into your missing children, you in fact will want them to know that you're there as something and not be keeping all your history and all that hidden away in the dark somewhere. Because that's relatable. Because some of the flaws I in fact have, some of the issues that I've dealt with, I used to be suicidal. I used to have a lot of self-hatred and self-pity and self-loathing. Self-hatred more than anything. That could be somebody's struggle right now, and yet they ain't telling. That's a relatable science, right? And so why would I want to hide that just because I'm talking about missing individuals? That's not gonna work. That ain't even gonna work. I'm almost like Oprah's little twin or something. Despite my mom come first and my granny come first, but then Oprah come. Because I just realized that when I'm on video and I be talking about myself, I did not once recognize the layering aspect of me doing the Oprah layout, in a sense. While I'm sitting here, that wasn't the purpose. The purpose for me to do when I first came on these videos or whatnot, me saying, it wasn't for me to really put myself saying my struggles and all this other stuff to me being a human being. That wasn't the point of the purpose. I was just going to get on here, do the children's stories, do some adult type of missing person stories, and leave it at that, as in just say it straightforward. But then as I start to sit on camera, I said, I don't like that. You should be strategic, as in telling who you are, saying who you are. Representing that, as well as representing the children, where you can even connect with them and them being dead despite you not being able to form a connection, but somewhat just to say what you might in fact have in common with the Jolie or Asia Degree or any one of them. You got the McMahon family. McMahon, many people haven't heard of them, over in Europe, where their daughter came up missing. It's all type of missing individuals. So to tie yourself with these missing people is to say it's relatable. That's relatable. That ain't gonna work. So if that's what any of y'all coming on my video to see is just to hear the stories of them, we might not make it together. As in love, I'm saying. I'm saying that's not gonna work, because see, I see enough with that celebrities of them being fake. Many of them is being fake. They're not being real. They don't never sit like a Oprah Winfrey set, or like how I'm sitting right here on this camera, and tell their experience of the bad experience. Outside of the good, they want you to hear all the good, and yet life is not always as pleasant. They don't want you to hear the bad because they want to cover that up and keep that away from the public's eyes, because many of them have formed in their mind they just going to be judged, possibly to the grave themselves, as in they're too insecure to do that. You got many celebrities that sit on pedestals, they're too insecure to do that. Air out all their dirty laundry, in which people can in fact learn from, because they're insecure. They don't know who's going to hate them for that, and yet I choose not to care. I choose not to care. And even that, this is in fact blogs. They're blogs. So to be looking for something else is to say leave off my videos if you're looking for something else, because yeah, that don't work. Because if I wanted something robotic, I would just upload these and have a robotic voice behind my videos. How some people, I'll be like, what the hell is that? You click on a video, like if Oprah if Oprah was like on the camera, right? She is, but she wouldn't. But say if it was just a picture of her there. Some people be doing that. They'll flash different pictures of celebrities or whoever else, and it's a robot voice. And you be wondering, what's the point of that? I can't make too much a connection with that. There's no real person there. I can't make no type of connection with that. And then you want to go leave a comment in the comment section, and you're fearful because you don't know if a robot is going to greet you in that as well. Because remember, a human being wasn't there from the beginning. So you're thinking a robot is going to comment back, such as a bot system, which is why some people don't comment on those type of videos. I've even read and seen where people was complaining, like, why do you have to have the photos with the robot? Why can't you just speak on camera? Because some people fear that as well. They don't want to be judged by that. As in, if I put my real voice on this camera, I might in fact be judged. So let me just set a robot here. That's not going to work for long. As in, people is going to stop watching it. It's one celebrity channel right here on YouTube. They talk about celebrity stories and celebrity drama and all the rest, right? But they just flash photos and they write everything in text. People don't want to see that over time as well, because every time they show something, it's always some old, outdated story that they're showing you with the text going across the screen. But not only that, you already done seen it and heard it before pertaining to the celebrity. So what people be thinking is that individual is trying to mislead them. They be thinking that whoever run that YouTube account is in fact trying to mislead them, because to not be able to see a person, hear their story, or hear their voice, such as them open their mouth on camera as they're having a whole bunch of celebrity stories there, is to say what is the intention of them doing that. They're more than likely just running that channel to make money, which could be why they're making up all type of stories and stuff to do that. That it was too robotic. I get notifications and yet I'm not subscribed to them, and yet I be getting quite angry, like, why would this person do that? Okay, make your money, do what you do, because they do have hundreds of thousands of followers, and yet I choose not to do that because that's fake. I want you to see my face. I want you to possibly hear me. If I pass gas by accident, I want you to hear that as well. If I cough or sneeze or something, I want you to hear that as well, because that shows that I'm real, living, breathing right here, giving life to some dead individual, such as a JHOLIE or whoever else. I'm just using her for example. Whoever else. Because to go forward is to say you're going to in fact hear more stories outside of just her. And so, real recognize real. Many people, in fact, didn't I mention him before? Walter Lee Hampton. Shouts out to Walter Lee Hampton III. He's all on YouTube. He lives down in Atlanta, Georgia. He talks about the gays and the HIV and all that. Many people, in fact, hate him. And yet he has to, in fact, continue talking the way that he does. Walter Lee Hampton. I, in fact, hate him at times because he can, in fact, get on your nerves. And yet that's the point. Because a hit a nerve and get on somebody's nerve is to say you in fact doing it right. Shouts out to Walter Lee Hampton III. He's named, more than likely named after his dad, which has passed away. His mom is still alive. She's in church and all that. But Walter has to, whether he gets on my nerves and everybody else, he has to in fact do what he does, as in calling out the gay men, which he himself is in a relationship, and say calling out gay males that have AIDS that just freely spread it. Because see, I didn't know how much AIDS was being spread as much as it does be. And yet Walter, in fact, schooled me on that. Just because you do stuff in Hollywood or whatever with Hollywood don't mean you're going to know everything pertaining to percentages, pertaining to even the black community. Because remember, corporate and all that other stuff is owned and operated by Jews. And you do have many blacks and whites and all that working in it, right? But I'm speaking on Atlanta and how down in Atlanta, how Walter was speaking on camera right here on YouTube. Walter Lee Hampton III speaking on YouTube about how the percentage of the AIDS and HIV rate is sky high, much more high as a third world country such as Africa or somewhere. Yeah, Walter called that out, and I didn't even know, as in I was unaware, because I have a lot going on and I have a lot to do, is to not know even the percentages down in Atlanta. Remember, I got family that live down there. My mother's sister lived down there. My first cousins, them live down there, right? You got individuals that might want to go out to the nightclub and possibly cheat on their wife or husband or something, and then sleep with the wrong person. Then before you know, they infected with HIV and AIDS, which is why I needed to hear that. He was the only person all across YouTube that was doing that. I'm sure Walter possibly would have some words for even me. Where I went on his YouTube comment, well, you could do this and this and that, and he thought I was being condescending, is the word for it, condescending. But I just was trying to say about, if you want to improve your channel, this is how to do it, right? That wasn't hate on my end. It was just showing love of how to improve. Because for you to be giving out information pertaining to HIV and AIDS and the rate in Atlanta, is to want to dress up your stuff just enough to just put an opening, being Walter yourself, even if you don't put a closing. You don't need a closing, but just put an opening, because everything that he says I love to hear. And yet I would just to like to see something more pertaining to making it look more like a TV show. That's why I said that when I went on his YouTube and said it many a times, and got on his nerves even with that, where I get on people's nerves, because the want the best for other people is to call them out and say, as in when you go on their YouTube and leave a comment like that individual came on my stuff and said what he said. But for Walter, it's a different thing, because remember, I'm already with corporate, and yet with Walter, he runs his own thing, right? And so I don't know, I just like, for an opening, I think an opening would match him, Walter Lee Hampton, real good. And I think he did end up putting whatever, but that was in fact not my ideal, that was his. But I just was saying about making your stuff look more like a TV show. That was my comment to him. But he put the opening on his stuff, and I think a closing. But yeah, once again, that wasn't my ideal, it was his ideal. But I was like, man, you go all the way in. You need to, in fact, go contact a psychologist. You need to go contact a child mentor, because he be speaking on child molestation, on how some of these gay men, that's not to say that they're all like that, but you do have gay men that, in fact, be molesting young boys and possibly passing HIV and AIDS off to them young boys without using protection and all that other stuff. Those is his topics, and yet he makes the gay community very, very mad and heated when he conversates like that. And he should, because that's a wide awareness on their end, just in case of their husband and wife choose to go cheat off on them with another same-sex individual, and they in fact get infected with HIV and AIDS. They would want everybody like you and I to hear that after he done said it, and they didn't want to listen in the first place. But yeah, he's cool. He does what he does. But I got all off topic, and yet I should. But I was speaking about him because, yeah, when I first came across his videos and how he was speaking about that, and he was telling his story about this and this and that, and how he done fell out with different people and possibly celebrities and all the rest, I was like, man, this dude is completely real. He's completely real or whatnot. And I didn't want to say who I worked for, because, you know, sometimes people be hating people or whatever be going on, or they have disagreements, dislike for people. So I just left that alone. I would just leave random comments to say, oh, I love your show or whatnot, your YouTube show pertaining to the gay males and HIV, because if black folks don't get it together and wake up and listen to somebody like him that's taking the time to talk about that. Because see, black folks a lot of times only want to hear what they want to hear. They want to hear that, oh, AIDS is not real. Oh, AIDS been set up by the white man. Oh, AIDS can't get you. Oh, AIDS will never find you. Oh, HIV this. Oh, HIV that. Oh, HIV this. And it will never come hit your doorstep. And yet when it does, then what is to say after that when it does? That's no laughing matter. So you need to in fact face what needs to be told about that sort of thing can in fact make its way to you. Which is like what he liked to discuss. He ain't interested in coming out saying, oh, it will never hit you. No, he comes out and say it might in fact get you. Because the gays down in Atlanta, they in fact be sleeping around in gyms. Where you go work out and aerobics and all that, they be back in the shower room having sex with each other. Grown men and all that other stuff. That's not to say that that's wrong or dirty. No, that's to say to use protection. So he calls that out. He has to. You need somebody to be a voice in that to call that out, because if not, the whole black community is in fact going to end up dying off. Because it's women that's getting married and having kids and they laid up next to a gay man or possibly gay lover that they don't even know that he is, and he could be just using her for sex or whatever else. And then as he's doing that, he's in fact infecting her with HIV and AIDS and just ain't telling her. Walter be speaking about all of that. That just has to be said to them. If you don't want to die out as a black community, is to face just that and quit lying to yourself, because ain't no escaping that HIV and AIDS once you get that sort of thing. That it ain't no walking away. That's a lifelong sentence, as in a death sentence which awaits you. But it seems like the world we live in with all these political correctness, everything has to fit what people wants to hear or something. It's like you can't tell anybody that tragedy is out here. You can't tell them that HIV could in fact greet and meet them and be possibly standing outside their door somewhere. It's like you can't say that. So what can you say? That ain't gonna work. Only losers can't face stuff like that, as in what could possibly find you as you trying to sneak and sleep off in some bed and cheating on your husband and wife. HIV and AIDS might can in fact be laying there waiting for you. It could. I'm saying. That ain't gonna work. Just lying to people. So you're gonna sit up here and lie to people. You're gonna sit and lie to people because they want you to lie to them, and then when they get infected with HIV and AIDS, now all of a sudden you the only one around to bring them roses, a card, and everything else, and some chocolate or something. Yes, where they at? Where they laid up dying in some hospital somewhere after you done told them before to watch they self and they back. But they didn't want to listen. But now you the only one bringing them groceries and all the rest. That type of stuff. That ain't gonna work. I be telling people the truth, because HIV and AIDS is no joke. You got people skin be falling off they back and all the rest. How you gonna live with that? And then they be getting diarrhea where everything be gushing out their butthole and all that other stuff, and they can't keep they pee in their body, as in the pee be going all out, which is why they have to wear diapers. Diarrhea literally be flying out their butthole and all that, which is why many people with HIV and AIDS be having to wear diapers and stuff like that, because your body be changing and wasting away in that. That's not something you want to live with at all. But within the gay community, both whites and blacks a lot of time think that that's celebrityhood. They think that's something fashionable to get HIV and AIDS. Ask anybody in the gay community, they will tell you that. The males, I'm saying, more than the females, the males, they're rebellious in a sense, but they think that's something to be fashionable and bragged about. Oh, I just got diagnosed. And then they got this one documentary called The Gift. Anybody ever heard of The Gift? The Gift is when it comes to grown men that are gay, they be having HIV and AIDS and all that other stuff, and they like to pass it off to other grown men just so that they can help one another spread the virus amongst the gay community. The point in that is to ask, what is the purpose in that? The Gift is the name of the documentary. The Gift is the name of the documentary. The point is for these gay males to actually pass off the virus to other individuals that are gay too. That's why they call it the gift, because they feel like they're actually giving one another a gift. That in itself is off the hook if you ask me. So that's a gift. That's supposed to be a gift. Let me pause right quick. Somebody just answer me back. Let me pause because I'm about to cuss them out. I had to let them know when they said when whoever came on my stuff talking about her parents did not. You see that comment? Let me go down because I cuss a fuck off all the way off. When they said something about her parents didn't do something I wish y'all read, and I told them to fuck off and get off my channel. Bye. Yes, be gone. Don't come off my stuff. Don't come on my stuff telling me what's what. Don't come on my stuff telling me what. You will get checked. And possibly done in front of other people. Do not do that. That's something you don't want to do. Because I don't care about nobody's feelings but my own. And I said that. Didn't I say that? I wonder if Oprah Winfrey feel that way. Why did I just say what I just said? Because she possibly does and ain't telling. That's a secret. I'm saying when haters get to coming on your stuff, that's what I'm speaking on. Sometimes I out stuff pertaining to even celebrities in which they ain't even saying. They can't come out and say the stuff like I do. But that is in fact a true statement. Oh, dear Oprah. When it comes to stuff like that, when a hater come on your stuff trying to tell you and I gotta tell them to fuck off and get off my stuff, you a loser. Because if you wasn't a loser, you would in fact be, instead of coming and comment telling me what I need to quiet down on, you would in fact go make your own videos and get the fuck off my stuff. Those are in fact loser mindsets, as in they need to be told. Drive back and holler back on that. And the swag, I'm saying. Don't test me, because I don't be bothered with no losers, as I'm completely unafraid in that. The casket is closed. So how you gonna come tell me who parents didn't do what and you wasn't even there? And yet I myself is there enough to put some research on the end of my end, as in a felt tip enough to say, open up my mouth where that don't make sense. No, there's no way no 9-year-old girl left home. Hell, even Finding Asia Degree blog know that little 9-year-old Asia Degree couldn't have left home. She was possibly killed within the 4 walls of her home. That's common sense, and yet a loser wouldn't even take the time to even look. They would just comment because they're a loser. I'm saying you got in fact people that be sitting around, right, and they sit and look up people's stuff, and yet they ain't trying to help nothing. They just want to shut people down, as in to tell you to stop saying this and that, and yet they ain't doing no good deed to society, which is why I sit and call all them losers, as I should. Because you never know, even God could be telling me to call a loser out so that they can fix their life and do some good deed to society, instead of sitting around trying to tell people to shut up and all this other stuff. No, that is not gonna work. I ain't never shutting up for nobody. I say what I feel, and possibly tell the truth as well, because you don't know where I could be getting information from. I could be getting information from law enforcement. You don't know where I could be getting my information from, so don't come asking me or telling me nothing. Discovery is close to what? You got Lieutenant Joe Kenda, as well as other law enforcement, FBI, that work with Discovery. Even some of these haters don't even know, so don't come checking me. That's a no call, no show, as in I don't show up in that. I say what I gonna say and let that be that. To these losers, they need to die off, all of them. Pushed to the grave early, right? Because most of y'all out there losers. Let me pause right quick. Hello? Because many of these losers, I mean, I started to look at that. One day I woke up, like, one day I literally woke up and paid attention to the simple fact that there are in fact losers in this world. Because see, I'm the type of person, I get so much into what I do, I don't recognize other people unless it got something to do with my own end pertaining to discovery and all that. That's all my world. Everybody else I really don't see. God don't want me to see them because they're losers. They ain't making no come up and they ain't doing nothing for no benefit. I spoke about that midsection in this video, didn't I? I brought that up already. And yet to repeat it again is for you, the viewer, to pay attention. They're in fact losers. Never surround yourself with losers. Never surround yourself with losers. So this documentary right here, this is in fact the gift. And I was speaking about that, the virus of how they give it to each other and all that other stuff. That is off the hook. These grown men be doing all type of stuff with each other to pass the gift off to one another. That is off the hook. That is completely off the hook. Bug chasers, they call them that too, bug chasers. Bug chasers are in fact individuals that, not to say that they chase bugs or anything like that, but they in fact do something like that. I'm saying. The AIDS virus, HIV is to say that sort of thing, the bug virus. I must say this, the longer I go, the next how many months, whatever come, see, I ain't gonna have no, because I would disable my whole comment section. I don't want to do that, because you do got good-hearted people out there. You got CC and some other people out there, right? You even got Discovery, they be on here. What's what? I don't tell everything. I told you they see what they see, because they have my bracelet as well as they name on stuff is to say that sort of thing, right? Which is why I don't want to disable my comment section. That's a no-go. But if I have too many haters, I might have to do that, as in give certain individuals like a CC or whatever my email or something like that in order to continue contacting me or whatever, Facebook or Gmail or something like that, because I would in fact mute it down where a hater can't say nothing. All they will be able to do is see the video as it plays. That in fact makes people bitter, as in, yes, they do. They in fact get upset. Well, why, when I said about Dr. Phil, when you go in there and you can't leave a comment, that's why he got his stuff, because people be, yes, coming on people's end, trying to, yes, be telling people what to say and all this other stuff and cussing you out. I will mute it down in the form of how Dr. Phil has done, and yet I'm not going to do that. I ain't going to do that. I'm going to let them foolish people talk to themselves, because they're foolish. But yeah, the gift. He looked like dude that played on what was that movie called? Love and Marriage, Married with Children. That's who he looked like. That guy from Married with Children. Slightly. The virus that causes AIDS is called the gift. Did you see that? Barebacking. The virus that causes AIDS is called the gift. That is off the hook. Who wants that? A gift giver. It helps to be aware of these sort of things. Because see, my thing is, if you grown, then practice what you practice, but just don't spread that amongst young children. Basically, I sound almost like my mom. But I ain't religious. Just don't practice that among young children, such as raping them and all the rest. That sort of thing is a no-go. Taking advantage of kids and giving them the gift, that ain't gonna work. So I think that's all to be said on this video. I need to see what that phone call was about. That last phone call that came through, I need to see why that was there. I do. Because I answered hello and then I heard whatever and I hung up. I be doing that too. What you say? Let me call you back. So I think that's all to be said by now. For now. Bye now. Bye now. Yeah, so we got right here Investigation Discovery. We're in fact, yes, on the home page of Investigation Discovery. If you don't know, you in fact know now, as in do tell. Run and tell that. Holla back on that. But yeah, this is the shows. We got the shows recommended for you. You can go through. I was about to say grow through, like a plant. Grow through, fly through, however choose to do. Homicide Hunter. My dude, Kenda. I always gotta pay attention to Kenda, as in call him out. Put him out there, because that right there, that's a target all its own. The audience, I'm saying. Going in on Lieutenant Joe Kenda. Unlocked episodes. Yes, unlocked episodes. You can scroll either one and it will give you a little fine print description of even that, as in what the show is about. It gives you just a little bit, just enough to know. I'm showing you that. Newts. Murder calls. On last night. What is that about? You got Sugartown, The Real Story. Hold on. American Monster. Still a Mystery. Fear Thy Neighbor. Investigation Discovery goes hard. What? True crime and all that, it goes hard. Need to check that out. You never even know. Broken Trust. You got Dark Waters, Murder in the Deep. This is better than reality TV, isn't it? Isn't that much more better? Because see, to have a real life story, as I say, is much more realer than the reality TV of when many celebrities and all the rest be trying to put on the fake front and all that other stuff. That's not a hate mode. No, it's not. It's a truth mode, as in what you speak on. Even if you serve celebrities and all that other stuff, it's to in fact say the reality shows what's fake and what's real. ID goes much more harder. Let me tell you, most evil ranked. Evil lives here. Here. Yes, it does. But not right here. No, it don't. That's a joke. Yes, so evil lives here. After the evil. Women in prison. Real talk. You got Reasonable Doubt. Dead North, the interrogation. See that? My Mysteries. That's for them ladies out there. That's a holla. Shout out to them. The Missing Pieces, The Staircase. Disappeared, gone in an instant. He lied about everything. Yeah, it goes all the way smoother. Smoother than the smoothest. I think that's all to be said for now. The crime feed. When I said the crime feed sits right here. I did that in my last video. That in fact must be brought back up again, so you're aware to the crime feed, as in where it could be located. Whether you want to use the main link of the crime feed, or whether you want to in fact use it right here on the actual ID homepage itself. Some ID wine. Yes, the wine club. When I said about ladies be dripping wet on even that. Not over Lieutenant Joe Kenda, know about the stories, the real life abstraction of the stories, as in what goes down and why. You might want to cop that book, I Will Find You, by Lieutenant Joe Kenda. Also down here is in fact the newsletter. That must be pointed out as well. The newsletter. I scrape a hater off. Just did. I know they weren't expecting that when I said fuck off under that Asia Degree video. Because see, look, Asia Degree is still missing. Which means I represent her, as in I talk for her in the form of public relations where she can't speak for herself. Asia Degree. That's a science in itself. It's called keeping up even with the dead if she's dead. Or even if she's alive. That's still to say somebody needs somebody less gentle to be telling people where to go. Pertaining to a missing child, how you gonna come check me on my stuff about what needs to be what? That ain't gonna eat. You in fact gonna fuck off, just like I said. Because many of these people don't have respect enough for even the Asia degree to go looking for Asia degree. Because if they did, they would, and not be commenting on me and everybody else that's saying stuff. Even over on Reddit, them losers, they losers too. They sit around and they don't do nothing with their free time but be losers and cop-outs in life. And blaming other people for their failure. Which is why they can't make it in life. Scum of the earth. Over on Reddit. They know. That's why they're there. I say what I say. So these is in fact TV schedule. Right here, if you scroll over, zoom over, go down, and all the rest, to pinpoint of what's coming on at what time and why. I'm saying it will in fact show you 8 p.m. showing you what time is coming out. 9 p.m. is showing you what's coming on. People magazine investigates cults. They in fact real. This is about the Moors. You see that? It says about the Moors. 9 p.m. The Perfect Murder. This schedule is for actually 2 days from now. I just jumped ahead. Thursday, August 9th. That's what this schedule right here is for. But if you want to go back to today, you can in fact click right there. But when you actually get on the page, it's going to take you to today anyway. Whichever day it is, it's going to take you to today. But I just jumped ahead just to see. You got Someone You Thought You Knew. Chris Northman is an entrepreneur building his extreme sports business in the suburb of Roseville, California, when he is fatally gunned down in his warehouse. Detectives look to his disgruntled employees and his mistress in search of the killer. People be doing all type of stuff, let me tell you. Velocity, that as well. Velocity. As in what you would like to see. That's for grown men. That's what they like to get down and fixing up cars and antique model cars and all the rest. That's velocity completely, truly. Madly, lovely, deeply. Something like that. But yeah, so I think that's all to be said for now. I'm about to like log off or whatnot for a second. I need to get me something to eat. You know, rallies in fact sounds good. It in fact does. So yeah, I'll be back, and that's all for now. Enjoy the day. Be pronounced. And rest. Not in death. No, never that.